princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Innisfree Vivid Cotton Inks. It has taken me so long to pick all of the colours of these up. Some of them even had to come from Korea with my younger brother because I couldn't get them online and he was in Korea anyway, so I was like, just go to all the Innisfrees that you can find for me and I would love it if you could bring me some back. And he did, so what a trooper. These are like a little matte mousse liquid lipstick, so after all the swatches I'm going to compare them to some of my other matte mousse liquid lipsticks as well so that you guys know what to expect in terms of formula. But the product description says, soft and light like cotton, moist but with a matte finish, vivid cotton ink. So the packaging of these products is very minimalistic. I really like that they have the correct colour on the outer, so it means that when I pick them up, because there are 15 shades of them, I know which colour I'm picking up for the most part, although there are quite a lot of red colours as you will see soon. These have a doe foot applicator and it's kind of in like a flat spade shape, which is actually really good and it makes them very easy to apply. So this is shade number 1, which is a brighter orange colour. So I'm going to apply this as a gradient first to show you guys how they work. So this is what shade number 1 looks like as a gradient. I actually really like these formulas for gradienting my lips, although I usually use 2 different colours because I just don't like the way that my lips look when it's bare, or if I have like concealer or a foundation on underneath. I just think it makes my lips look too small and I don't like that. But they are so easy to use because they have a really beautiful like silicone-y, smudgy sort of formula. So I definitely do recommend them for gradients. But I definitely wear these more as a full lip, so I'm going to fill in the rest of my lips now. So this is what shade number 1 looks like on my lips. I don't mind it. I prefer it if it's a very sheer application because it gets a little bit more of a pink tone because you can see my lips' natural colour underneath. With a full application it's too orange for me and I don't like it, but I do get some use out of it. It does make a really pretty gradient if I put it with some of the other pinks because it just makes it that just a little bit more peachy, which I prefer. But if you like a nice bright orange that's not too yellowy or too neon, this is definitely one I would recommend. Shade number 2 is one of the mini red shades and I'll show you a selection of the reds later on. So this is what shade number 2 looks like. It's kind of a hard red to describe. It's kind of got quite a peachy tone to it, but it also looks kind of pink. I actually really like the colour. I think it's quite unique and this is one that I do get quite a lot of wear out of. I just really struggle to explain what it looks like. Yeah, it's a difficult one, but it does look really similar to what it looks like on camera in real life. It's just slightly brighter. Shade number 3 is a really pretty mid-toned pink. This shade is so pretty and I get so much wear out of it. It is like the perfect strawberry pink for my complexion and I absolutely love it. It's not too like purple toned, which I like as well because a purple pink makes me look a little bit sick. But it is just absolutely beautiful and I so love this one. You're going to be hearing me say that a lot with this collection, unfortunately. Shade number 4 is another red. This one is slightly deeper and a bit more of a blue toned red. So this is shade number 4, which I really like. It's a classic red colour. It's like more of a blue tone than anything else, but it just looks really lovely. It's not too dark either, which I really appreciate. So this is shade number 4. Shade number 5 is a dark burgundy. So this is what shade number 5 looks like. It is super deep and super pretty. I actually really like this shade just to deepen up the inners of a lot of the other colours. If I am doing a gradient lip, this one works really well. I did use a couple of layers to build this one up just to get that really pretty deep colour, but you can sheer it out really easily and it has like a beautiful like plum looking finish. So I just absolutely adore this one. I don't consider this one part of the reds because it is a little bit more of like a darker burgundy colour and it's not so confusing. Shade number 6 is a brownish nude shade. This one isn't particularly my cup of tea, but it does look really nice on camera for some obscure reason. It is slightly pinker than normal because shade number 5 did stain my lips really badly. It doesn't normally, but when you're like exfoliating your lips so much with taking the swatches off all the time, they just start to stain. They just do. Like it's nothing to do with the actual shade itself. It's just because I'm applying so many of them. This shade isn't particularly for me. It does remind me a lot of the Etude House Rosy Lips in the tea rose shade, but in like a nice liquidy form. It's not one that I'll probably get very much wear out of, but I do think it is pretty. Shade number 7 is my favourite out of the range because it is a pale pink. This has been my go-to shade since I got it and you can probably see why. It is the perfect pale pink. It's like a dusty rose colour, so it's not really a pinky pink or like an orangey pink or anything. It's just so perfect and I would 100% recommend this one to anybody who wants a perfect baby pink that's not too light This is also the shade that I use for gradients. If I'm doing a base, I will put this on the bottom and then I will use a darker color to smudge in the inner part of my lip, and it just looks so good because this color is a really beautiful color for me, like, to begin with. So it just means like I've got a little bit of a darker gradient in the center and I've got more dimension to my lips, but I wear this all the time by itself. Love it. You will pry it from my cold dead hands. But I'll show you a clip now of what happens if you apply these and you talk too much. They do form that really chunky rim along the center of your lips, and I was wearing this color when it happened because I wear that one all the time. I hate that chunky, like, chunkiness that like just gathers in the inside of your mouth. Oh my gosh, like, it's actually the worst. I find that I just have to be wary of like rubbing my lips together, so I have to do it more, not less. So it keeps the like lipstick from actually gathering so much because you're kind of spreading it out with your lips. It's kind of annoying, but it's not really the end of the world and it won't stop me from using it. Shade number 8 is a dusty brownish red. So this is what shade 8 looks like on me. I'm kind of on the fence with this one. Like, I don't mind the color, but I never really gravitate towards it because I don't really do browns that often. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I think it's a pretty color, but because I really don't do the browns that often, I just don't really gravitate towards it. It kind of looks like it might belong in the red section, but for me it looks more brown than it does red, so for me it's not so confusing. Shade number 9 is a really pretty plummy color. So this is what number 9 looks like on my lips. I'm literally the worst because I'm like, oh, I don't like purpley pinks, but now I've got like a purple that's slightly pink. I'm like, yeah, I like it. I think it's because it's a really pretty like muted matte color. It just doesn't make my skin look funny. I don't know, it's all to do with like the type of purple that it is. This is so pretty. I really like it, even though I don't get a lot of wear out of it. I feel like I really need to dress appropriately for the shade, but I think it is such a cool color and it is really unique as well. I don't think I've got anything like this in my collection currently, apart from potentially, I'd have to swatch it, one of the Peri Peri Pink Moment ink velvets might be a very similar color. Shade number 10 is another one of the brown shades. This one's kind of more like an orangey brown. There are two things I don't like in lipsticks, oranges and browns. But somehow, this doesn't actually look terrible. It's kind of got like that really pretty pumpkin color. What is happening to me today? But this would be really, really pretty in autumnal weather, or if you just like orangey browns in general. I think it's a really nice shade. I don't know if I'm going to get that much wear out of it. What do you guys think? Do you like it on me, or do you think it's like a solid pass? Shade number 11 is another dusty purple like number 9, but this one is darker. So that is what shade number 11 looks like on my lips. And again, even though it's a purpley pink, I really like it. I don't know, don't ask. I think it looks really lovely. It's a bit more of a grown up color than I usually wear, but I think this would look really nice with like some of my more grown up outfits. It's just a really flattering color on my skin tone, and I just really like how dusty it is. It's not like super bright. Yeah, no, this is really, really pretty and I really like it. Shade number 12 is another red, but this one is a little bit more of a brown toned red, but it's not quite as brown toned as the other brown toned red, which was shade number 8, which is definitely more of a browny red. So this is shade number 12. It's kind of like a muted brick color. I just think it's really intriguing. I just don't think it's a color that I wear on the regular. It is definitely different. It's not as vibrant as the other reds. So say like shade number 4, that is the blue toned red. That's quite a vibrant color. And then shade number 2, that's like the pinky red, which is also very vibrant. I feel like the later colors are a bit more of a muted finish, but it is still really pretty nonetheless. Shade number 13 is another red. This time it is quite an orangey red. So this is shade 13. It's right in the middle of being an orange with a bit of red, or a red with a bit of orange. It's got a lot of orange in it if it is a red with a bit of orange. It's not an unpleasant color. There's just quite a lot of reds in this collection, so I'm kind of like, that's a bit too many reds for me. I prefer blue toned reds on my skin tone, but I do also admit that this does look quite nice. But do I need that many reds? Probably not. Number 14 is quite a dark red, which has kind of got like brown and orange undertones. So this is shade 14 on my lips. It looks a lot like shade 12, which was that bricky red, so brown and red and a bit of orange, but this one is slightly darker, not by that much though. Like, it's a pretty subtle difference. Again, it is a pretty color, but it is not one that I kind of reach for or would wear often enough. Then last but not least, we have number 15, which is yet again another red. This one is a very deep red as well. So this is number 15 on my skin. I really like this one, and it may kind of look similar to the burgundy, which was shade number 5, but this one has a lot more like plummy tones in it, whereas this is just a really dark red. I think for me this one looks more like a blue toned red. It's kind of hard for me to tell when they get darker, but I really do like the colour on my skin. I think it just looks really lovely, especially when I have fully dark hair. So if you don't see a lot of the blonde section, I think that this colour red looks really nice. If I hide all of the blonde and only show you my very dark hair, I think that's a really nice colour for me. I think it looks nice with the blonde hair as well. It's just not quite as like, I don't know, not quite as striking. But those are all of the shades, so I'm just going to quickly show you all of the reds. So there are 8 shades that I would consider to be red or part of the red family. So those are all of the shades that I would consider to be red or red based. So you have the very first one here, which is shade number 2. That one is the lightest out of all of the reds, and it is the more pinker tone. The next shade over is shade number 4. This is a really pretty blue toned red, but it is the lighter color in comparison to the very last one here, which is another blue tone red, but it is darker in color. Then in the middle there you've got shade number 5, which is the really dark burgundy. Then we've got 3 shades here of those brown reds. So we've got shade number 8, shade number 12 and 13. So that one there is number 8. Then we've got 12 and 13. And then lastly down here we have the 2 other shades. So this one here is shade 14, and on the other side is shade 15. So those are the deeper shades. So that is what they look like up close. You can kind of see the difference in color a little bit better. But yeah, that's 8 red-ish shades. So in terms of texture, if you've tried some of the other popular matte mousses on the market, these ones fit in between the Petty Petter Airy Inks and the Petty Petter Ink Velvets. They are a lightweight mousse, which means that they are not heavy like the Face Shop gelato tints. This is a very heavy, thick tint, or the Ceramic mousse candy tints. Those are a lot thicker. You can feel them when you rub your lips together. These, I can't really feel when I rub my lips together. They're a little bit lighter weight than the Petty Petter Ink Velvets, which feel a little bit thicker and more like you can feel them when you rub your lips together on my lips, but they're not as lightweight as the Petty Petter Airy Ink. This is kind of a good thing because with the Petty Petter Airy Ink Velvets, I feel like sometimes the pigmentation doesn't come through because it's such a lightweight product. That one really is like air on the lips. I cannot feel a thing. But it also means that the pigmentation can be really poor on some of the colours, and it does cling to a lot of the dry patches on your lips. These lipsticks also have the clingy problem as well. If you have flakes on your lips or any type of buildup, you will see it immediately, which is not very flattering, unfortunately. My tip is before you apply these, always exfoliate lips, because even if I feel like my lips don't have anything on them, there will still be something and you will see it. So these are not forgiving if you have flaky lips. I wouldn't recommend them. If you just have dry lips or wrinkles on your lips like me, they are not so bad. So if I exfoliate my lips properly, I have no issues with these whatsoever. They're moisturizing for a small amount of time. Do not expect these to keep your lips moisturized all day. They are not a lip balm. They are a matte liquid lipstick. So they are going to dry your lips out eventually. I find that if I just apply another layer, or if I apply a bit of balm over the top, I don't really have any issues with dryness on my lips. However, like I showed you with the light pink color, these do gather around the inside of my lip. So I end up with this big chunky line of product after maybe, I would say, like 5 or 6 hours. It is worse after I've been talking for a long period of time, but as a teacher, that's pretty hard to avoid, really. You can't just sit there in silence. So that is part of my job that I cannot really change. However, I find that just rubbing your lips together like this just helps to keep the product moving around rather than having it sitting stagnant in one part of your mouth. Just rub your lips together a little bit more and that gets rid of that problem. As for the colour range, I do think that is a really pretty colour range. There is almost something in there for everybody. However, I just find that there are quite a few similar colours. So there are a lot of the similar reds. There are those like brownie reds that are very similar. I do like the inclusion of the 2 very dark red shades, however. So that's not quite as common in K-Beauty tints. And of course, my favourite colour is the light pink, but I also do like those 2 pinky purple ones as well. I think those are really unique and I do enjoy wearing those. These lipsticks were a little bit more on the expensive side, so I think I paid around about 10 to 15 New Zealand dollars for each of them, which makes it a pretty expensive collection. However, I do really enjoy the formula of these. I think that they just look really flattering on my lips. They look matte, but they don't feel matte, which is the best thing about it, because like the Petty Petter Ink Velvets, the Sem Mousse Candies, Even the Face Shop Gelatos to an extent as well, they all have a very slight shine to them, whereas these ones, once they've dried down beautifully like they have at the moment for this colour, there is no shine. If you pack on a lot of the product and you don't let it dry like I did in the videos, there will be a little bit of shine. So this is what they look like on a normal day-to-day basis. It's like a soft matte lip cream basically. But I would 100% recommend these for anybody who is looking for a lightweight matte mousse tint. So they are a liquid mousse that dries down to a matte finish and doesn't make your lips feel like dried wrinkly prunes. Like, what is there not to love about that? And the colour range is gorgeous. You may have a hard time getting some of the colours, so colours like number 5, number 8, 14 and 15. Those were really difficult for me to get a hold of, but I did actually get in contact with Innisfree and they said that they are going to be restocking at least the 14 and 15 because those are a new release quite shortly, so after their big sale period they will restock the other colours. So I am in love with these ones. I love almost all of the colours. There are going to be some that do not make it to the final cut for me, but yeah, overall I really do recommend them. I think they are gorgeous. So thank you guys so much for watching this review and I will see you in the next video. Bye!